A lot of people are not really practicing, they're just repeating. They return to the same task, make the same attempt, feel the same friction, and call that progress. But repetition without correction is just familiar effort. It feels serious, it feels disciplined, it can even feel tiring, and still, nothing important changes. Real practice is not doing it again. Real practice is doing it again with a specific correction. That is the difference. If you repeat what already feels natural, you protect your comfort. If you correct what is weak, you build capability. One keeps you busy, the other makes you better. That is why deliberate practice feels narrower, slower, and often more irritating than ordinary repetition. It removes the pleasure of momentum and replaces it with standards. You stop asking whether you showed up. You start asking whether this round was cleaner than the last one. The point is not endless variety. The point is targeted return. You come back to the same territory, but you do not come back unchanged. You come back with an adjustment, a tighter movement, a clearer ear, a more accurate response. Repetition preserves, correction improves. Think about rehearsing the same short musical passage. You begin, stop, begin again, stop again. From the outside, it looks repetitive. But the useful part is not that the passage was played 5 times. The useful part is that each return had a single correction inside it. Maybe the timing rushed. Maybe the bow pressure tightened. Maybe the entry was careless because you anticipated the difficult note too early. If you just run the same phrase again and again, you may become more comfortable making the same mistake. That's not real practice. That's error with stamina. But when you isolate one fault, return to it, and listen harder on the next attempt, the work changes character. Now the repetition has a job. The discomfort becomes informative, and the session starts producing earned improvement instead of just elapsed time. Most people overvalue volume because volume is easy to count. What matters is quality of return. Practice begins the moment repetition stops being automatic. It begins when you make your next attempt. Answer for the last one. Do not measure practice by duration alone. Measure it by whether each round contains one visible correction. Correct one thing each round. That is short enough to remember and strict enough to expose drift. If you cannot name the correction, you are probably just repeating. If you can name it, your attention sharpens, your standards rise, and the work starts to leave a trace. Mastery is rarely blocked by lack of effort. More often, it is blocked by unexamined repetition. The hours still matter, but the hour that contains correction is worth more than the hour that only proves you were there. Build on that, and skill stops being a hope and becomes a result. That's the principle. Now go practice.